Hello, welcome back. This game has been paused for feels like a month. That's probably not that long. This is a bad turn to have to try and catch up on what's been happening because I swear to God, this turn just took me like 3 hours to go through. This is like a nightmare. There's so much crap going on and so much stuff to move around now. But anyway, let's refresh our memories together about what is happening in battle data. So first of all, we got some construction. That's at 3. We can do Legion of Steel. I guess I probably should have thought of that. Although worms aren't going to benefit from that because they don't wear armor. But something to bear in mind. Going to keep going. We'll get our national spells and then we'll also get some items we can forge. And after that, I'm going to switch into evocation because I think we should probably get Greater Rectangle online, which requires N5, but we've got quite a few N3 guys now. And we do have a free staff that gives you 2 nature, so we've got a few guys who could potentially be casting this in combat. Very expensive, but it's a really, really good spell. That's going to be the next target, I think. Claim the Throne. Got life. Cast Strange Bedfellows again, which is good. I'm going to really start putting that everywhere I can now. We've got like 7 places with Moors, so we should have 7 Bedfellows up if possible. And then lots of battles. So first of all, we got attacked by Nazca. Can't remember if we have seen them, haven't we, when they were attacking cats. Bugged sprite on the caster, but that's been fixed. We got the Big Bless, shock weapons, precision, shock resistance, fire resistance, reinvigoration, and blood surge on these dead man sacreds. I know Nazca is in the base game, so I don't know how much of this stuff is just in normal Nazca. I have no idea. But this is some modded Nazca nation. Sungate guards, whatever. But he attacked us with this. Got a big firecaster over here. I think it's fire 2 and then there's Phoenix power. And a couple of, I guess, Gifts of Heaven casters? We'll see. They do blade winds in this battle, but fireballs will be a bigger problem. And fire clouds. And falling fires there. Now then, you might notice I have my assassins guarding this province, because apparently they were not hiding, they were defending. So that's, you know, not good. They've been waiting there for weren't they waiting there for 5 turns just hoping for this to happen? They could have been assassinating these guys really easily. And I fucked up and left them defending instead of hiding, so that is the end of my scythes. What a shame. And there's Nazca's army rolling into us. Next. Another thing I remember we did is we were sitting on that enchantment site, hoping that Lemnos would attack us with a big army so we could defend against it. And Lemnos attacked us with a big army so we could defend against it. So this is a really beautiful fight, look at this. All these different coloured lines hitting all these pink worms. What a strange mixture of shit on the screen right now. A bit hard to make out what's happening. We can see the flame clouds as usual get dropped in the middle of our worms, unfortunately. But we've got our whites at the side who do quite well, they really hold their own. The flagellants are just kind of stuck behind the worms, but the whites do manage to get a couple of kills in. And these 2 tree guys were right in the front the whole fight, and they did quite well with the bless. Stood their ground. They finally were out. We do lose a few of our bits. But the defense is mostly successful. So that was second forest. Killed 156 things, he killed 136 things, but I mostly just lost small colonies, a couple of burgeoning ones. One white, that's about it. He lost a lot of stuff. Some of the stuff is free, I guess they're summons. The Dream Tigers are 45 gold each, and he lost 53 of them, so that's probably the biggest blow. Too bad for him. That was second forest. We took Ionia as well, and then he threw one thing into it, so we defended that quite easily. Norfangs was... oh, the throne. So we also got hit on the throne as well. But that goes fine as well. We had the Madman on attack and he finally got killed, which is good. Get rid of him. So everything was fine except the Nazca fight. Events, lots of events as usual. We got another Dance from the Grass. This one is a dude version. No different other than that. Second Forest gets Redweed. Uuodeouda gets another Teeth in the Hills. And Haloma got a Hemidoradonian Subsummant. Or Daradanian, maybe. Yeah, Hemidoradanian Subsummant. This is another different kind of ally you can get. This is the non-caster, non-priest version. He has 55 hit points, and he's a robot. The power he gets is Cold Power. He's very, very tough, lots of hit points, lots of resistance as well, but he's extremely shock vulnerable. And he can fire lasers, which is cool. One of the gimmicks of the subsummants is that they all of the different types, the mages and the priests and the warriors, they all start with a drone. I can't right click the drone, but drones are always communion slaves, and the subsummants themselves are always communion masters. So if you've got a couple of these guys, they are collectively a communion at all times. Other than that, nothing too interesting with this guy because he's not a caster. But he can research because he's a clever robot. Man, Redweed Flourishing. Ilya, Redweed Swallowed Up. Mun, we got a Maya. In Haloma, we got an Enormous Tentacle. This is a 20 on. These can free spawn, but it's very rare. It's also more likely at forts. Other than that, this is the same commander as we get from Exogenesis. In Ionia, we got a huge amount of gold and a crystal heart and a bunch of gems. So that's 1,830 gold. Summerlands, more gems. And Packwoods, Dominion -2 from a false prophet. Worldwide events, evocations are cheaper. Throne of Life, rejuvenated units, and did some patrolling. Okay, so that was a lot of messages, and also now a lot of arrows. A couple of things happening this turn. First of all, we're getting attacked by Nazca. We lost our assassins, that's a shame, because the assassins would have done what I was planning on having them do, which is kill all the commanders, so that's, you know, whatever. You can roast me in the comments. But we're going to do the best we can now to defend against this army. It can only move to 3 provinces. Probably not going to move into my fort. I can't defend Packwoods, so that simplifies things. I'm going to defend Crystal Fields, and I'm going to attack into Ivermark. Ivermark gets all of the non-worm units that cannot move to my throne, which I'll talk about in a moment. And the cave gets all the worms. So we'll attack these 2 provinces. He'll probably move into the forest, but maybe he'll move into the cave and we'll fight him with this. I'm not sure how that will go, because we don't have a lot of spellcasters here. But all of his units will be struggling in darkness, so probably a coin toss. Over here we can see Selenia has another army back on our borders, so maybe he is now attacking us again, finally. Which would be a shame. So I truly cannot really hold this territory very effectively, so the priority now is just going to be to defend this throne. Thrones are what win games, so everything that can move to the throne in one turn is doing that, which is this fast stuff. I'm not bringing any worms because Selenia's bless just counters my worms completely. So everything that can move to the throne is going to move to the throne. Mostly it's just casters at the moment, but you can see some more big red lines coming down, and this is just moving a lot of stuff towards the throne to defend it. Because my expectation is that Selene goes 1 to Gold Mountains and then 2 into Florian to take the throne off me, while Nazca takes this stuff. That would be my assumption. Is the deal is Nazca gets this stuff and Selene gets this stuff. So moving some casters, and all of my dancers are coming down here as well because this is in my dominion, so they'll be quite good at defending. Couple of worms here, and all these casters I just showed off. We'll come up with an actual defense script next turn, depending on what Selene actually does. But for now, stuff is just moving here. So that's these 2 provinces and the throne. Up here, we did just knock out most of Lemnos's army, I think. So he probably doesn't have a huge amount to defend himself with now. So I'm going to try and attack these 3 provinces. This fort does have a lot of stuff in. I don't really want him to get little raiding forces out to harass me while he dies, so I'll try and sit on forts as quickly as I can. He does have his god here. It'd be annoying if he just rolls everything out now from Lemnos, all his casters, and just walks into me. But I'm going to attack this fort with mostly just a few worms, a couple of tree guys, and all of my teeth in the hills. There's a few spellcasters here, mostly just Quagmire, one guy doing Horde of Skeletons, a guy doing Luck. That's about it really. That'll attack the fort though. Elder Hill is going to get attacked by all my big worms and a couple of spellcasters. We've got a guy doing Quickness, and a guy doing Haste and Regen. Again, it's not a huge amount of stuff, but I can't imagine he moves a ton of stuff into Elder Hill. It doesn't seem useful. More likely, I think that he moves into me. And the last province I'll attack is Helbathia. This is going to have all of my whites and my flagellants backed up by the size 1 worms. And I'm also bringing out 3 D2 mages as well, I think. Oh, 2. 2 D2 mages to do Hordes of Skeletons. So we'll attack those 3 provinces next turn. I'm also moving a lot of stuff into Second Forest, but it is mostly just casters. So we'll have quite a few casters here, including a lot more Horde of Skeleton spammers. Just to make sure there's something here that can defend. This is currently on 25 province defense as well. And notably, I'm moving all of my D3 guys into this province, so they will start summoning lots and lots of long dead horses next turn. And probably for quite a while, because they'll be quite useful, I think. Other little miscellaneous things happening this turn. In Uuodeouda, I'm moving my S3 guy out to Chibia. I'm going to do Strange Bedfellows here next turn. I didn't really want to put one here because it's so vulnerable to La Mancha, but La Mancha doesn't seem to be building up troops on my border, so let's open Strange Bedfellows here. I'm going to move a caster to keep us to put a lab down so that I can get Strange Bedfellows up there as well. Kareen might have made more sense, but we don't quite have the more yet, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll try and get as many bedfellows up as we can wherever we've got moors, even if they're not very defensible, because we really just need a lot of allies at the moment. Also in Uuodeouda, I've got this guy here, Nazirus. He's Earth 2, Astral 1, Death 1, and Nature 1. I'm empowering him in blood, because we've been building up quite a lot of blood slaves. And I know that there's a nature booster that requires nature and blood, and there's an earth booster that requires earth and blood. So that'll be quite nice. I could also just empower my pretender because he's got the same paths, but there is a chance you get horror marked when you empower in blood, and I'd rather not risk getting that on my pretender, since my pretender is going to be holding a lot of globals. And speaking of globals, we have Mother Oak up now. As soon as we've got more nature gems, I'm going to put Ecomorphosis up, because that'll help us a little bit. Especially since we're at war with all our neighbours basically now anyway. It doesn't really matter if our neighbours get annoyed with our site spreading. So we'll prioritise getting up Ecomorphosis pretty much as soon as possible. Without alchemising anything. That's quite a big turn. Attacking these 2 provinces, attacking these 3 provinces, and then moving stuff towards Florian is basically what's happening. And I'll just quickly go through the orders just in case there's anything else to mention. I don't think so though. No. That's it for this turn. Thanks for watching. I am a bit worried about ending this turn. There's so much stuff happening. I've tried to split up my armies a lot more than I usually do, because it's a bad habit to ball everything up. So hopefully I've put enough units with each army. But that was turn 31. Thanks for watching. Like I said, it's been a while since this game last turned, so I'm a bit rusty, I think, in terms of just talking, so I hope that was okay. And I'll see you next time. Hello, welcome back. We've got Construction to 4, Evo next. Empowered in Blood, we did not get Horror Mark, thankfully. Diaportant, Ramk, playing Selenia, cast Eyes of God. As usual for him. And then we had lots of battles, you can see lots of flags. Oh, speaking of Eyes of God, he posted like 2 of the graphs, and he's kind of... Ramp's very sly about what information he gives out, but it looks like Gerudo. He's a nation we haven't seen, but Gerudo is apparently just completely busted because they're like, they have a massive income. They actually have a bigger army than me, which is kind of funny when you think about it. Not too interesting though, besides that. So here's Nazca. Nazca didn't crash into us. He went for my forest, which had the temple. Pretty expected. I couldn't move anything into that, unfortunately. And kind of see him doing the same stuff. Falling fires, blade winds. It is notable, I think, that he actually lost 7 units just running into, what, 5 province defense? Which makes me think that if he hits my wall of worms, we're just going to melt instantly. That's good to know. We attacked into Elderhill. I don't think there was anything in any of these Lemnosian provinces, but no. We took Elderhill with no problems and no losses. Next, there was a battle in Florian. There's DM Dracket attacking us with this big boy. This is Tarask that is slave-collared. Apparently he did this intentionally because thinks this god is like broken, so... yeah. But he's thrown it into us. It does have 10% regen and 345 hit points. Tier 10, lucky. It's currently weakened in addition to the Feeble Mind. This is my throne province. I have moved quite a bit of stuff here because I was expecting Selenia to attack me next turn. So... probably a bit more defense than he was expecting. Including some of my nice commanders. The knights get a pretty good lance charge on him, but he does have a big regen. He gets hit for 59 though, what was that? It looked like 59, let's... Wow. Violet Fingertips hit for 59 damage. That seems wild. Ah, Violet's this one. Oh, ×3 versus larger beings. That's an interesting one, isn't it? That's quite funny then. It shouldn't really do that much damage, but I didn't... Yeah, it's big. He got slapped pretty hard by that dancer. Unfortunately he kills all of my cool commanders with the poison afterwards, which is a bit of a shame. Yeah, but we killed his god. That's nice. Lost 2 Knight Conjurers and a dancer. He now has a giant army on our border as well. In fact, he's got 2 armies on our borders, but we'll look at that in a second. Selenia attacked us as well with this Sacred Fire Shield army. This is just the province I had a tentacle and wasn't defending. I can't. So let's just watch Selenia's units walk over us. He does put up this eclipse thing, which puts the battlefield in darkness. That will not be very effective against me, because pretty much everything I've got is either blind or has dark vision. And I've even got 3 Teeth in the Hills units that have Dark Power 3. And I've got all my death guys who do Hall of Skeletons, so it might be an interesting tactic to use against me. But he took that province, unfortunately. This is a big army as well. There are quite a few weak commanders here, though. And I do have an assassin waiting in that province, so I'm going to try assassinating some of these guys this turn. Halbrathria was another Lemnos province, no problems. Same for Great Mountains, we took all 3 of those Lemnos provinces. And then we also took back Ivermark, which was undefended. The one Nazca just took. That's this one. Events, we got a Knight Amarant. I think this is the first time we've got just the Knight, not a spellcaster. Really nice leaders, +2 for 4 squads. Other than that, they're basically Knight Conjurers with slightly different gear, and no magic paths. Uuodeouda, we got Splendor from the other 2. Which is really lucky, because it's the like big groups. We've got like 19 Splendor here, and 10 here. Oh well, 7 plus the trees that were already there. Redweed, we got another free Entwining Arm in our cap. Death Gems, Nature Gems, and that's it. Okay, so this is another Nightmare turn that took ages. We can see we've got Nazca over here with a pretty not very interesting stack. Florian with the big blessed stack, and now this giant DM Dracket stack as well. DM Dracket also has a little stack here. Would be annoying because I can't defend up here, but we've got 2 big stacks adjacent to the throne. We were already in the process of moving stuff here, so that's still the plan. I'm going to move everything I can to Florian. It's a bit awkward now because I don't want to fight Selenia's army with worms, but I do want to fight Dracket's army with worms probably, so just kind of compromise by doing what I usually do, which is bring the worms but put them all right at the back. Over here I'm just going to defend Ivermark. I can see Nazca's got another army here. I think he might move both armies back into Ivermark, so I'm just going to defend it. Or he might move on with this army and move out this army, in which case I'm still going to defend it. So literally everything's going to be here. These units are all too slow to move over to my throne, and a lot of them are worms anyway. And I want to dodge Selenia's army with the worms. So I want to pull away from this region and towards this region. I'm just going to sit in Ivermark and see if Nazca takes the bait. Other than that, there's one big red arrow here. I gave some boots of messenger to this water guy that he can do Quagmire in Florian. You'll notice I've got no gems this turn. I've alchemized a lot of gems, and I'm also casting a lot of spells, unfortunately. Looks like it might still be another couple of times before we can do Ecomorphosis. But over in Florian, we've got stuff here. I'm summoning a behemoth and a revenant because hey, why not? And you might notice I've put the province defense up to 50. I've also sent Ramp threatening ominous images as a form of psychological warfare. Try and dissuade him from attacking me. And I'm moving all this stuff here. We've got a group of Splendor, we've got a couple of Abyssians that I was recruiting. Some of the half-dead guys, some of these Sinos, and then all the worms in the back. We have groups of casters here. These groups will all contain at least one D2 guy who will be doing Hordes of Skeletons, and at least one N3 guy who will be doing Haste and Poison Ward. Everything else in these little blocks is just either an N1 or an E1 guy who will be doing Vine Arrows or Earth Grip. I have a Holy guy here who's going to do Divine Blessing. Everyone who can't really do anything is just right in the middle. And then down here in the bottom left is where all of my remaining special commanders are. So there's a Teeth in the Hills, there is the Night Amarant, and there are the 2 remaining dancers in the grass. Plus 1 guy who's going to be putting some quickness on them. The Quagmire guy. So the dancers too. As usual, these guys will just buff up for a few turns and then they're set to attack rear. Now then, that's not all though. There's also some other stuff being teleported in. Again, I can only use my teleport in provinces that have a Great Red Moor, so it's not... There's some stuff down here it would be nice to teleport over, but I can't really do it. But I am teleporting Nazca here. This is the guy I just empowered, unfortunately. But because we just got that event that gave us a ton of splendor, I really want to move these guys into the fight. So I've given him that Tree Lord staff that we got for free to take him from N1 to N3. That allows him to do greater peristaltic passage. And he's going to be teleporting into the throne as well. He's got a bunch of splendor up here and a couple of worm guys. You can see he's the N3 guy set to do haste and poison ward. Similar story in Haloma. I've got another N3 guy here. Again, he's got a bunch of units. He's also doing the teleport. His units are in the front. And he's also scripted to do haste and poison ward. And there's another Water 2 Wanderer as well, doing the basic teleport. She's down here doing quickness, okay. That means I don't need the Quagmire guy doing it, do I? No. Quagmire guy can go up here, then that's fine. So I'll also be teleporting these 2 guys and their little bits and pieces to Florian as well. And I think that's it for everyone that's teleporting. Yeah. So there's quite a lot of stuff moving here, plus 50 province events. There is a Palisades going up next month. I don't think that will affect the battle because I think construction happens after all battles have been completed. So I don't think I have to worry about things being either inside the fort or outside of the fort. But if that happens, then I'll cry. But I'm pretty sure building the Palisade will happen after all of the battles are complete, and so it doesn't matter. So that's everything that's moving to Florian. You can see lots of red arrows that are mostly just like guys bringing handfuls of worms where they can and stuff like that. Before I talk about Lemnos then, I'll just, while I remember, we hit construction 4. We do have a few national items at 4. There's the weapon at 0, which is not very interesting. That's just Poison Sickle. Can't remember if I've clicked on this. But we get a few trinkets. One is a Living Tentacle. Gives you morale. It gives you Communion Master, so you're automatically part of a communion like a Crystal Matrix. And it also gives you a free Tentacle Slap weapon. We get Pink Nectar Elixir. This is just a disease healing item. Basically just a cheaper national version of the Cure All Elixir. And then we also get Sacred Slime. This is the item I wanted because this would be quite good for our Teeth in the Hills and our dancers, since it auto-blesses. And those commanders are quite good at defending and raiding, but they can't bless themselves. This is an auto-bless item that also gives you Slimer and makes you auto-cast Slime, but it does make you fire vulnerable. Which isn't too bad because our bless includes 10 fire resistance, but it is a bit of a drawback. Not doing any forging this turn though because so many spells are being cast that I've dumped all of my gems. In Chibia I'm getting another Strange Bedfellows up. I think that's it for stuff happening over here. It's just the Lemnos stuff now. This throne is completely undefended. I can't really do much about that. I'm moving some mages back, just maybe they can start building buildings at some point. My expectation is that Nazca is going to end up taking this throne, which would be annoying, but I don't really do much about that at the moment. I don't mind losing these provinces. This one's a bit annoying because of the gem income. Nothing over here really has redweed yet, so it's not like it's really doing much for me. So it's okay if I'm a bit inefficient at taking this province back and defending against this push. I also can't really do much. But over here, In Second Forest now, I am having my D guys do Pale Riders, and I'm doing a Revive King as well while I'm at it. But just to show that off, I think I've already clicked it, but it's just a bunch of long dead horses. They'll help with sieging and with soaking up hits. That'll be quite nice. And then over here, the group that just took Elderhill, which is these guys, and the group that just took Halbathria, which is these guys, they're all going to merge on Lemnos now. We'll at least put it under siege, and then we'll see how much damage we do to decide whether or not we want to actually storm it or chip it down. Otherwise we might just try taking stuff and pushing our Dominion over him. The army that just put Great Mountains under siege is just going to leave behind this one Acolyte, and everything else is moving on to Rotmarsh. And that'll join up with the army sieging Lemnos the turn after that, if I think we need it. Lots of stuff happening. I haven't started building a lab and keepers yet. I'll do it next turn if everything seems okay. I'm a bit worried about this army coming in and knocking over Strange Bedfellows sites. But we're getting Strange Bedfellows in Shibia, and then we'll move to keepers, and we'll intend to do that a few turns after. I think that's it for this turn. Research is currently at like 300. It'll be a while till we hit Evo 6, unfortunately. It might be worth getting a few points in Thaumaturgy, just quickly. I'm not sure. For now, I'm just going to stick to that plan. Any other orders? This I've talked about. Lots of teleports, of course. Doing Strange Bedfellows. Yep. That's everything. We'll see what happens next turn. I gave the water guy a lot of gems because there's an awkward situation I think might happen, which is that we have to fight both of these armies. I don't know if they're in communication or not. They might not be. I think it's more likely that they are, but they might both attack this throne, not realizing that the other person is. And that would be amusing, but it also means I have to defend twice, which means I'm going to expend gems, unfortunately. Reminds me, one other thing I wanted to do is make sure these guys are on conservative. For precisely that reason. Pretty sure I changed the N3 go here. Yeah. Oh well, I've done all that I can. If this wraps up quickly and doesn't have any problems, we can roll the units here up into Nazca's back, which would be quite good. If this continues to drag on, I think it's going to really pull too many resources away from the players that are now actually threatening me. And then if we lose this province, I think that's a huge setback as well, because it basically means both of these armies are going to get free reign through my territory. So the next turn might make or break my position in this game, actually. Hopefully it goes okay. Everything on province defense. Yep. Alright, ending turn. That was 32. I know these are very long now, but thanks for watching. They might get shorter soon.